Hey everybody, Lee and Jim. We're working on RL's 47 Ford again. So the last video that we did on this car, Jim installed some power windows. I put the stainless trim back on. We fit some new moon discs to the car, and the most important piece that we've been waiting for forever, we finally got the correct yoke for the open drive conversion on the rear end, which allowed us to finally get measurements for a drive shaft and get a drive shaft made. We now have the drive shaft, so it's time to continue on with this. Our plan for this video, install the drive shaft. Once the drive shaft is in, we can fill the transmission with fluid, and it's not going to run out the tail anymore. Put some fluid in it, then we can finally put the shifter assembly back together, put the shifter knob and the shifter boot back on. What else are we going to do? I realized I forgot to put a vent hose on the open drive conversion. I think it was 2 videos back on this car when we did the open drive conversion. I drilled and tapped it for a vent, but I never actually put a hose on, so we'll quickly do that. One other thing that RL wants us to do, he wants us to put new motor mount biscuits in the front. He got this really cool tack. Look at this, a vintage Sun tack. So we're going to install that. And fabricate, oh man, my pen. Now what are we going to do? I finally got the rest of the parts to fabricate a trailer hitch and wire in a light plug for his 1936 Mullins trailer. And he also wants us to louver the hood. Can we finish all of this stuff in one video? I don't know. We're going to try. Stay tuned and find out. Well, I ran to the store and got some transmission fluid for the transmission. And while I was doing that, Jim went ahead and put the drive shaft in. It fits great. It's got a hose started on here. Run some sort of a ventilation hose. Also, so many people gave me a hard time about not cleaning the crust off this rear end, including RL that owned the car. So there it is, it's all clean. Look at that, isn't that great? With the drive shaft installed, we can finally put some oil in this transmission and then put the shifter together. Been holding off putting the shifter assembly together just because it's really easy to fill these transmissions this way through the top and not have to mess around with the little drain spout on the side. They take just regular automatic transmission fluid, and they take, I think it's like 2.7 liters, not quite 3 of these little containers. Jim just put the shifter assembly together. And Jim, what's wrong with this shifter?
Well,
it hits the dash. It's got this first little bend right here. Probably doesn't need to have that. So we're gonna take it back out, or Jim's gonna take it back out, and we'll see if we can unbend that. I don't know, when Jim was thinking like put a piece of pipe around it in the vise, which might work. We also have the press. We can't just heat it up with the torch because that is obviously going to destroy the chrome. Putting it in the press and bending it might hurt the chrome too, but we got to do something because it's not usable this way. Look at that shift knob though. So I talked to RL yesterday about bending that shifter, and he does not want to bend it. He wants to buy a different one that has the right bend. In the meantime, I had this one just laying in my random transmission pile, and it will work in the meantime. It's a little short for what this car needs, but until the one that RL has bought arrives here, it'll work. So that is not going to continue on with the shifter boot and stuff until that gets finished up. In the meantime, Jim, who's putting moon discs back on right now, has started mounting this vintage Sun tack that RL picked up. It's a super cool piece. It's the real deal vintage style one that has the transmitter box. So Jim found a nice spot on the firewall and has it bolted in, and I think he's just got 2 wires left to go on it. And then that will be all sorted out. The motor mounts that, remember he put in new motor mounts? They caused a little bit of clearance issues with the steering box and the manifolds, these Fenton manifolds. So he got in there with a grinder and hogged out a little bit on the side of the steering box and a little bit on the side of the manifold, and it's got good clearance now, so that's all happy. Tack's all hooked up. Finally got oil in the transmission so we can actually start it and see what this exhaust system sounds like. It's so quiet. Is Tack working? Tack does not work. Well, there's some instructions we can read, things we can fiddle with. So no luck on that Tack. Jim was looking it up, and I guess there's a little mercury battery in there that dies, and they don't make those anymore. There's someone who can convert it to a solid state, but I don't know if we're going to do that or if RL's going to handle that. Or, anyways, we're going to move on to the trailer hitch now. So RL wants to put a trailer hitch back here so he can pull his 1936 Mullen trailer. I don't know if you guys have ever looked up like how trailer hitches are made, but I don't understand how they don't just go like that as soon as you put the car on. Anyways, we found one that is rated for 12,000 pounds, which is considerably more than RL will ever hold, so I think the design will work. What we're going to do is we've got 2 bumper bolt brackets here. We're going to take some 1/4-inch plate and plasma cut on the table, a plate that will bolt on in between the bumper bracket and the frame at a 1/4 inch and come down like that. Then we're going to have a piece of tubing that goes across to the other side. And then this just welds to the tubing. Super simple, super basic, and if the one on the internet that's designed like that will hold 12,000 pounds, this will surely hold his little Mullen trailer. So I'm going to run to the metal shop right now and get some tubing for that, and Jim's going to start making little templates. Well, Jim's got this trailer hitch all mocked up in here. Just squeaks underneath the back bumper. It's on the same plane as the running board, so aesthetically it looks nice to the car. And then we just got 2 little 1/4-inch brackets or 1/4-inch plates coming off the frame rails, sandwiched in between the frame and the bumper brackets that drop down to the tube going all the way across. So this is just tacked right now, so it's ready to be fully welded. This trailer hitch is all welded up. It turned out really nice. For a little bit of a gusset, I just put a triangular piece from here down to here, and then also incorporated some little circles down in the bottom to tie some safety chains to. So I think this is ready to paint it black, and then Jim can bolt it back on. Trailer hitch is painted black, bolted back on. It worked out really nice. It's so perfectly snug to the bumper. It looks like it's gonna hit, but it doesn't. We test fit it with just a hitch extension that I had laying around here. Once it was all bolted back on, Jim went ahead and wired in a 4-plug switch as per RL's request. Got it in a nice loom, and it just ties into the original harness back there. So when we left off on the inside, the shifter that RL originally got was not, it hit the dash. Temporarily put one of my shifters in, but in the meantime, RL found another shifter and shipped it to us, and it's back in the car now, so that is all buttoned up. Shifter's in, works great. Perfect clearance. It fits so comfortable. right there. We've got the shift boot all installed now, so that's done. The tack did not work, as you guys just saw, so pulled it back out, put it in a box, and sent it off to, actually just sent it to RL, and then he's gonna, I guess, get it rebuilt maybe? I don't know how that, what's the plan with that is, but the tack is no longer in the car. So we got one more thing left on our list to do. The hood. RL wants 2 rows on each side, 4 rows in total of louvers. So we're gonna pull the hood off, do a layout, and then stamp it full of speed holes. So the first thing I did once we wiped all the oil and grime off the inside of this hood was I found the center line, which was a little, it was easy, but it wasn't easy. It was easy because, like, obviously we know where the center of the hood is, but this piece tapers, so I couldn't directly measure off of it. So what I ended up doing was just measuring this in a couple spots, getting the measurement, splitting it in half to find our center line, and measured out from there. So I've got 2 lines faintly drawn in here. You probably can't see them on camera because they're pencil, but they're at the 20-inch mark and they go all the way up to here. So we've got 10-inch center line, 10 to 20, 10 to 0. Boom. So the louvers have to be, for my louver press to stamp them, they need to be 5 inches apart from the, like, center to center. So this is going to work out good because we can have our 2 outside rows 20 inches apart. Then we'll go 5 inches in, 5 inches in to our 5 and our 15 mark, do our second row here, and then come in 5 inches to our 10, 5 inches to our 10, and we've got the center of the hood. So it should be like balanced that way. For the back of the hood, we've got this V shaped here, so we'll probably try to mimic that into our louvers. We'll have the inside row probably start about here and maybe end about here, and then our second row is going to start a little bit further back and then come further back to, again, mimic this V. So that's the plan. I'm just going to draw my inside lines now. All I need is just the center line marked out, and then from there we can take this over to the press and start punching it. We're up, set up in the press now. Just about to punch our first louver. Square. There we go. Boom. There we have it, 64 louvers in the 47 Ford hood. I think they turned out great. They really suit this car. I always wanted to put louvers on this car when I owned it, but it can get pretty rainy here in Victoria, and this car, when I had it, sat outside, and I didn't want, having a wet ignition's not a good time, so. Well, I think we've reached the point in this build, now that our T5 swap is finally all finished up, we finally have all the pieces in it. There's nothing left to do on this car, except go for a drive. Feels pretty good so far. It goes backwards, obviously it goes forward, a little bit out of the shop. Brakes feel okay. Speedometer's working. But the front before, like, used to ride right on the bump stop, so anything will ride better than that. That's it for the video on this. We've done everything that RL has asked us to do. The only thing left is somehow get this car from Victoria, BC, across the border into the States and down to Texas where RL lives. And I don't know what the plan is for that yet. I don't know if RL is going to come up and get the car and drive it down. Maybe he wants me to drive it down. I'd drive it to Texas. That'd be cool. Probably makes the most sense just to get a shipping company to ship it, but that's up to RL, not us. So it's this is like the end of an era. This car is what I kind of started this YouTube channel on. The first few videos that I did on this channel were updates on progress on this car from when I first got it. When I got this car, it was basically a shell with an engine sitting in it, and built a whole car out of it over the years. So it's been a really, really good car, and I'm happy to see that it's going to a really good home, and thankful that I got the opportunity to finish the last little bits off before it goes. So I hope it's a good car to RL as well. Anyways, that's the end of this video. It's probably the end of this build series, but we got lots of other builds on the go, so don't worry about that. I mentioned a while back that the 47 Ford shirts, once they're gone, they're gone. Well, I lied. I got another order coming, so Can't remember exactly when they'll be here. Hopefully they're here by the time this video comes out. So make sure to check out the website, lgspeedcustom.com. If you want one last chance to get a 47 Ford shirt, I had a bunch of requests for 2XLs. I got some 2XLs. All the sizes are back again. So they are, at the current time right now with the US Canadian dollar exchange, they work out to like $19 US for a shirt. So it's the deal of the day. Get one, get two, probably get three. Then you don't have to do laundry for a while. Anyways, see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.